Thank you for having me here. So, hello everyone. How are you doing? Great?
Good, thank you.
Okay. So, today I'm here to talk about cloud. Cloud is the buzzword nowadays. Wherever you go, you hear cloud. Be it small organization or be it big organization, they are moving to cloud. And why not? It offers a lot of advantage over, you know, uh, on premises. So, basically, I'll be taking you through my journey into the cloud. So, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
let's get started. Okay, so a little bit about me. Uh, I am basically a backend developer with almost in and around 8 years of industry experience in cloud, including IoT. Basically, I work in as a Java developer. However, recently, due to the requirement, I'm shifting into the Node and Python as well. I'm an AWS certified solutions architect, and I have extensive cloud native application development and design and deployment experience. So based on that, I write on uh, all those technical topics in my blog, and I have given the link as well here, so you can find me over there. We can connect over LinkedIn or Twitter for further discussion on that. So basically, my uh, background is kind of very much cloud extensive. So yeah, that's all about me. So what we'll cover, basically, we are gonna cover what is cloud computing, how we use cloud computing in our real life, what are the different types of cloud computing, and then about Amazon Web Services, how we host a very simple use case into an Amazon. So what is cloud? Tell me one thing. When you hear the word cloud, what does come to your mind? Do you not look into the sky and then say, that's the cloud? Do you? At least I do. So, why not we compare this cloud with the actual this cloud that we are saying? Left side, if you see, this is the cloud and the rain coming, and right side, if you see, this is the where I'm representing the cloud computing. So, if we say, what does cloud do? It basically stays up there in the sky and provides rain service to the planet Earth, right? Cloud is something up there in the sky which provides rain service to the people of Earth, right? In that way, if we compare it with cloud computing, here, somewhere in remote data center, there are computers, there are servers, and they provide services to all of us. We don't have to use our own local system and carry it everywhere, wherever we go. Yeah. It provides the flexibility, like wherever you are, use it anywhere in the world, provided you are connected with the internet, right? So that's little bit of analogy between the cloud up in the sky and the cloud somewhere there in the remote data center. Yeah. So let's define cloud computing in a more, definitive way. What is cloud computing? Cloud computing is nothing but availability of computing resources on demand. What can be the computing resources? You might be thinking. Well, computing resources can be something like a storage where you store all your day-to-day pictures, or it can be compute power where you are computing something, some result, and then doing the computation and providing the result. It can be network, it can be database, anything, any kind of computing resource that you can think of. So the cloud is providing all these kind of resources on demand whenever you ask for it. It's not like you have to set up the whole lot of data center in order to store 1 GB of few photographs, right? That's very time consuming, as well as there are a lot of capital required, so nobody would like to do that. The benefit is pay as you go. You only pay as much as you use. You don't pay for idle thing. If you are using something, pay for it. If you are not using something, don't pay for it. It's as simple as that. Then it comes as on demand scaling. If you ask me, one of the greatest benefit of cloud computing that I see is on demand scaling. Because in reality, suppose if you are opening your data center today, you have 1,000 users, you have bought 5 servers, everything is going great. Suddenly your website became very popular and you started getting 5 million users. What will happen? Do you think you will be able to make or your capacity expand that much in if you are managing that data center alone? It's not possible to go and buy thousands of server in 5 minutes in hardware kind of thing, and then set up all the thing and then serve your users. But in cloud, my friend, you can do that. Within a minute you can spin up thousands of server depending on the kind of load you are having. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, it is. Then comes the cost perspective. Because in the cloud, there is sharing model that lot of different companies, businesses come and share the workload, so the all kind of cost gets divided among them, obviously upon users, whoever is using the most. But because being the capacity on scale, the overall operational cost gets lowered. Cloud can get help you go global in minutes. For example, if you have your data center in your area, I'm staying in Kolkata. If I have a data center in Kolkata, but imagine someone is trying to log into my website from Berlin, what's going to happen? Latency is going to be huge, because obviously there is a huge distance between Kolkata, India, and Berlin. But not in cloud. When you are in cloud, it can actually help you go global within minutes, and it can help you deploy your application in various local point of presence, so that wherever your user are, they have a seamless experience. Let's start with real life cloud computing example. I'm sure by looking at this slide, almost all of the application you guys must have used. And all of these are using cloud underneath to serve the huge demand of the user, be it Netflix, be it Facebook, YouTube, Airbnb, Zoom, Dropbox, all of them. We all know the story of Airbnb, right? It started very small and then it reached the kind of height it is on today. If cloud would not have been there, it could have been very difficult to reach, these kind of height. Because when someone starts small, when you are a startup, you don't have that kind of fund to uh, go gaga over all the kind of infrastructure that you need, managing all those infrastructure, and then starting your application and then scaling. You don't know how many users, whether you are going to be successful or super successful or mega successful, you don't know in the beginning, right? So if someone tells me, don't worry my friend, I'm here, no matter how successful you get, I'll never leave you, I'll always be there to back you up, no matter how long you go. It's amazing, right? So these are some of the real life example that you can see where cloud is actually being used. Types of cloud computing. When it comes to cloud, basically we divide it into 3 types. One is public, another is private, and hybrid. As you might have guessed, for hybrid, of course, it is public plus private. So I'll start with private one. What is a private cloud? Private cloud, as the name says, is private to one organization. For example, you as a organization do not feel confident about storing your data with some other third party. You are very much conscious about security and you don't trust anybody other than you. What would you do? Well, you have the option of deploying your own cloud in your manage your own infrastructure, and then you can manage it via web services call, or like that, as we have the best practices for uh, cloud. So like that you can manage. Then is the public. This is where a lot of buzz is going on. There are hundreds of provider out there. So public cloud is there for public uses. There are providers or companies or people who set the cloud or the infrastructure, compute, network, databases, or everything. They set up their data center and they give you that over the internet. Different organization, you, me, anybody can come and we can start using the public cloud. Obviously, based on pay as you go model. As much as you use, you have to pay that kind of thing. So public, if I give you an analogy, it's similar to mobile phone. For example, if you are using a mobile phone, how do you do? Here in India, we basically have different kind of providers like Airtel, BSNL, or we subscribe to their services and then we use mobile. They provide us service and then we talk via mobile. Similarly, if you want to use a public cloud, you can use different kind of providers. As you can see here, there are AWS, there is a Google Cloud Platform, there is Microsoft Azure. So there are hundreds of out there, but mostly many on top of them we have AWS, Google Cloud Platform, Microsoft Azure, Alibaba Cloud, IBM Cloud, Oracle Cloud. There are few which is actually doing quite good in terms of a public cloud. So today I'm going to show you a basic example of an application in one of the public cloud, that is Amazon Web Services. Let's see in this diagram. As you can see in the up, I have shown front end application. Sorry for that. And down, it's back end application. How would you go about deploying a very simple application? If it's a front end, you have this way to go: CloudFront and S3. If you are a beginner and getting started, you can simply get started with only S3 and you should be able to deploy your website. But again, as I said, if you want to go global, CloudFront is here to help you. CloudFront, it together with S3, will help you serve global website. Simple, first free, global website. Now comes the backend part. In backend, when it comes to AWS, there are various options. For example, Lambda is there for serverless processing, EC2 and ECS is there for EC2 for your normal workload, virtual servers, and ECS is there for your uh, Docker workload on AWS. Then these backend can get fronted by either API gateway or application load balancer. Mainly the pattern is like whenever you are using Lambda, go with API gateway, and if you are using EC2 or ECS, it's good to go with a load balancer. And in the backend, these Lambda, EC2, or these can connect to various database services available over here. So the use case that I'm going to show you today is a very simple website deployment in Amazon S3. S3 is simple storage service by AWS. It is an object storage service that allows you to store any kind of data, any type of data, any amount of data from anywhere in the world. It literally has not that restriction. Whichever type of file you want, you can store in S3. On top of that, it provides you with an option to deploy a simple website in that S3. So why not we just go and see it how it can actually be done? Let's see it. For the example, I have created a very simple website, just one HTML application where I have one title, one H1 Learn Cloud with Preeti, and that's it. It's a damn simple website. So what we will do today, we will log into our AWS management console and we are going to deploy this very simple website that I have here. If you see locally, then Let me open with Google Chrome. This is how it looks like in my local system. So let's go ahead and deploy it in S3 on AWS. Okay. So as I told you about S3, the first step while doing anything in S3 is to create a bucket. A bucket, as it sounds, is a container for all kind of data, objects, files, anything. So first thing we have to do is create the container. Then you can store the data. So let's go ahead and create that container. One of the thing that I would like to know, like you to know is whenever you are choosing a bucket name here, bucket name is unique globally. That means once you have chosen a bucket name, nobody else in the whole worldwide world, even with any other AWS account, nobody can use the same bucket name. So be wise while choosing your name, bucket name. One recommendation that I give to everyone is always having a prefix with your business name here, so that like your business name and then bucket name. That way you have a very little chances of colliding with someone else's bucket name. So yeah, that way we can choose a bucket name. Then comes choosing AWS region. Whenever you are going to store your data in cloud, most of the time cloud provider asks you, where would you like to store your data? Almost all the cloud provider has reasons. For example, I am in India, so for me there is a Mumbai region, AP Southeast Mumbai region. Or if you are in different places, there are different region in different places. So there are times when you have regulations, you have compliance, that you only need to store your data in your own country. Your data should not be stored in any other country. That time this comes to your help. You get to decide where you store your data. Once you have chosen region, leave everything in default and create a bucket. Very good. Bucket is created. Let's view the details. As of now, as it's a new bucket, there is nothing over it. So let's go ahead and upload our website, the simple HTML file that I have created. This is a simple index.html that I showed you just few minutes back. Leave everything and just upload. So now it's uploaded. We have created a bucket and uploaded our website. What next? As I told you, S3 provides a feature to enable static website hosting. So let's go ahead into properties. Scroll down to static website hosting. By default, as you can see, the status is disabled. Obviously, not every bucket is there to host a website, right? A bucket is just a container, and a container can be to store objects. So it makes sense not to enable by default. Let's go ahead and enable it. Once you click on enable, you get to choose whether you want to host a website or redirect request for an object. Let's choose index.html. In error also, it's good to prepare your error.html and give that. However, just for reference, I am putting the same thing over here as well. Once you have put up your index.html, static website hosting is enabled. And if you see, here is the link. Your website is live now. Shall we try to access? Yeah? Okay. Oh no, it gives 403 forbidden. Well, this is expected. As it seems, being in the cloud, one of the most important thing is security. And cloud providers usually go by security by design principle. So if you have created a new bucket, obviously nobody is going to have access into the bucket other than you, right? So if you want everyone to see your website, you need to provide access. There are quite a lot of ways in which you can provide access, like by providing uh, access control list or providing a bucket policy, many other ways. So let's go ahead in the permission tab. If you see here access, it says buckets and objects are not public. What we need here is bucket and objects are public. Let's go ahead and add a bucket policy. Here I am in the bucket policy section. But even before I do that, let me tell you one thing. As I said, security by design principle, if you see, block public access is enabled here, right? That means even if you add a ACL, even if you add a bucket policy, even if you try any other way to make your bucket public, it's not gonna work. Why? Because bucket level public access is blocked. And as I told you, this is for security reasons. Yeah. So let's disable this first. And then we will now see what it says. Object. Previously it was saying bucket and objects are not public. Now it's saying objects can be public. Now it's up to us. How do we make it public? So let's go ahead and add a bucket policy as we said. You can generate bucket policy online as well using policy generator. I have one prepared just for you. Here if you say, it says allow principal is star, that means everyone. Action is get object on bucket this. Mind it, we are using this bucket here. Bucket IRN is this. So let me go ahead, copy the bucket ARN and put it here. Well, looks like I need to paste completely. Well, done. Okay. So if I tell you, what does this bucket policy say? Bucket policy is nothing but a way to provide permission into your bucket. What permission we are giving? Effect is allow. We are giving allow permission. Principal means to whom? It's a star. That means to everyone. What kind of action they can do? Well, you don't want anyone to go into your bucket and upload a website or upload a file or change your website, do you? I'm sure you don't. So you only want to give them access to get object, to read only access that you want to give, right? Well, let's save change. And now we can see publicly accessible. In the access, it's saying your bucket is public. Let's go ahead, scroll down to the in the properties tab, or simply let's go here and just refresh the page. And ta-da! Finally, we have given the permission, and then we are able to deploy our website into the cloud. Here, if you can see, the website URL is like bucket name dot s3 website dot region name dot amazonaws.com. So this is how we deployed a very simple website into the cloud. Wasn't it simple? I guess so. What do you say? So that was the journey that I covered, like starting from knowing the cloud up in the sky to creating a very simple website and deploying it on cloud. So I hope you liked it. If you have a question, please feel free to ask.